Welcome to the podcast She is Fab, where we discuss all things fab, women empowerment, and life coaching. My name is Evelyn, also known as the Fab Chieftess, and I am a mindset transformation coach. Welcome to another episode of the She is Fab podcast. My name is Evelyn, your host, mindset transformation coach, and today I have the pleasure of speaking to Tara Eusebi. She is the founder and chief blesser of Bless. In 2018, Tara stepped away from a successful career to pursue her passion for helping others. This pursuit led to the creation of Bless, a mobile application that is bringing communities together to help one another in every part of the world. Welcome, Tara.
Thank you, Evelyn. How are you today?
I am good. Really excited for the conversation today. How about you?
Me too. Yes, I'm doing well also and looking forward to this.
Great. So tell us a little bit more about you and Bless.
Sure, I'd be happy to. Well, like you mentioned, I was in corporate America, did what we are all kind of supposed to do, get a job, growing up and kind of work your way up the food chain, I guess you could say. And I was working in a job that I was really good at. It was different than anything that I had ever done before. I was really successful. Making the most money that I had ever made, but still just feeling really unfulfilled, feeling like there has got to be more than this 9 to 5. I just had this desire on the inside of me that there must be more than this. And I'll never forget the day I was asked a question that literally changed my course. And it was just such a simple question, but I think it's one that we disregard and don't think about very often. And it was, what is your passion? What is it that you ultimately want to do? And it was just life changing for me that very moment. I answered right away as quick as I could. It's like it just bubbled up on the inside. I said, if I could do anything, I would just go bless people. And I remember just naming off this list of people that I would go and help if I didn't have to go to work. And then I went off to work that day, thinking like, oh, it's nice to have a dream. Now you better get to it kind of thing. So that's kind of like the moment that everything kind of began in the inside of me with regard to Bless. And there would be a little bit of time that would go on and I'd find myself in the grocery store just picking up some groceries. And I had this thought, if you knew that the person you're passing here in the market had a need that you could help with, would you help? And I thought, well, yeah, I would totally help. But then it was like, but how can I know what people really need? And that was literally the moment that the vision for Bless as a mobile app started to come alive on the inside. And I thought, man, if we could have a pure platform where people can go and share their needs and where we can offer help to one another, like what a beautiful thing it would be to bring communities together to help one another in every part of the world. Because the bottom line is we really do need each other. And I really believe we are the best help for humanity. So that's kind of like how it all began, pretty wild and crazy. And then I quit my job and here we are.
So I have to ask, did the idea of Bless, not maybe the mobile application, but was there anything that you might have thought of way before you made this shift? Maybe like the origin, maybe like a seed that was planted that eventually culminated to become Bless?
I never had ever pictured creating an app. Like I am not, my prior job, I was working in an industry that was completely different. I don't have experience in designing apps. I've never been to school for user interface, user experience stuff. So no, that was never the case. But what was always there, Evelyn, was this passion for people and really wanting to help people like forever. I mean, if I could think back years, I just have always been that way, like really found myself not very outgoing, more introverted. Growing up, I was more of an overweight kid and got made fun of quite a bit, that kind of thing, like a lot of kids do. But I always found that if I saw someone in need or someone hurting, there was something on the inside that almost like having that Superwoman suit on underneath, where it was like you just feel this sense of coming to the rescue. And I had always been that way. And so even though I had never like fantasized or thought of or imagined having an application that I would design that other people would use. That's so wild. I mean, it's even still kind of surreal to this day to think that people are using a platform that I created. But I always had this heart to help people, no matter what level of life you're at, because we all have needs. We all have times in our lives where maybe we're just a little down. And I've always been the type of person where if I can just make your day a little bit easier, oh, it brings such relief when you just deal with an easy person, right? I mean, when you just have like a good experience and something that could be hard is just nice and easy. And so that's always been my mentality. And so I think it really stemmed from that, and not understanding and really knowing and realizing that that was a passion on the inside that was linked to my destiny. And I think if humanity as a whole could realize that each one of us has a gift, a talent, a passion inside that is linking us to our destiny, that's our life assignment. Once you tap into that, oh my gosh, you just hit the gold mine, because when you have passion driving you, you realize nothing can really stop you.
I love all of that you said right there. If you guys listening or watching would want to replay that to take in that information, having passion, being of service, being able to help. I took a look at the app because I was curious, like, what is Bless? And obviously in my research for having this conversation with you, I went and took a look at the app. And it is such a simple but novel idea, right? It's how can I be of service, or how can you be of service to me in a way where you are blessing one another. And you talked about the passion you have. You talked about the assignment in life, right? That we all have a special gift. And that kind of brought up to me that movie Soul, where they're trying to figure out, what they're going to be. And it's kind of like that, right? We have these assumptions, these things we want to do, but ultimately everyone has a special gift that they can share. And for you, it ended up developing and culminating into this amazing application.
Yeah, it's so cool, but it's so true. There is something on the inside of each one of us. And I love to tell people humanity is literally waiting for you to step in to whatever it is you're supposed to be doing. We need that from you. And if people can realize it's there, first of all, acknowledge it. And even if it doesn't make sense, start to take steps toward it. Tremendous things will happen, because that's what this journey has been about, doing something pretty wild, pretty crazy. I mean, a lot of people are thinking like, like how can you even do this? Originally it was like, well, Bless will be like every other app and we'll put ads in it. But it wasn't long after that I discovered Bless has to be what it does. So it has to be a free gift for all humanity. There can't be strings attached, because it would defeat the whole purpose of what Bless is. And so to have this kind of wild, out of the box, unconventional way of doing business, it really shocks people. But I've found that in order to have unconventional results, you must do something unconventional. And that's what Bless really is about. It's really just being this pure platform for humanity. We do need each other. And especially in the day and hour that we're living in, where there's more division and more separation and more just world events that are causing such friction. If people can realize and kind of dig back deep inside to who we are innately, we're meant to be there for one another, and begin to utilize this gift in that direction. There are so many ways you can help without even leaving your house. I mean, you'd be amazed at how many people just need somebody to talk to, even if it's through messaging on Bless. So it's powerful.
No, it is. And you said it yourself, right? You could even do this without leaving your house. So there's convenience there as well. I mean, I'm sure that most people at one point in their day or week or month will think, I want to do more, or I want to help, or I have a need. We always have needs. And so this application fulfills both, right? Where you can help someone else and be of service to them, or you can seek someone's help and service.
That's exactly right. And so I love that, because I'm such a helper. But, this has actually challenged me too, to start thinking, okay, well, what do I need? and then being bold enough and having enough courage to share those needs with the community and let people know, like, look, we're real people here. We all have a need on some level. So to have a platform where you can share that without judgment, but not without accountability, that's a powerful phrase right there. We're really wanting to develop this culture and cultivate a culture on Bless where humanity knows they can share needs without judgment, but not without accountability. And the not without accountability part means that we want to see your life get better, regardless of what level you're at in life. I mean, even if you think it couldn't get any better, it can always get a little bit better. And so if you're sharing a need, what we're doing, especially if we're seeing people in a state of perpetual need, and they just come on and they share kind of need after need, and they're being blessed, but I don't see them giving back. What we're doing now is we're encouraging them to take a different look at their life and see, what is it that you have that you can give, even if it's a helping hand. And so it's been very interesting to have this approach with people, because you think, gosh, this could be a little touchy. Yes, it can be. But what it does is it either will turn a light bulb on to where they start to shift their thinking into out of the me mode. Now I want to help somebody else in the midst of my need. Or they'll say, hey, I'm just here to get. So obviously I can't do that here. So I'm going to have to go. And that's okay with us, because we want to cultivate this culture, like I said, where people's lives get better. We want to see a difference being made. So we're retraining humanity like this. And it's so amazing to watch. I can't tell you, in the few messages that I've sent to people to encourage them in this way, I've had some people not respond back at all, and that's okay. But I have others that have reached back out and thanked me for bringing it to their attention. And then they've realized, you know what, you're right. I do have something to give. Thank you for showing me that. And so if we can do this with one person and make a difference, think of the reverberating effect that will have. If they have children and now they're thinking this way and their thinking shifts this direction. I mean, it's so powerful. And then the other part of it is giving on purpose with purpose. It's so much different than just looking to get rid of things. So this is how Bless is unlike any other application that you'll find out there. I mean, we're really intentional on changing the world. I mean, this is what the mission is for. So we're on it. I'm determined to make it happen. So we're on the way. It's really wonderful.
No, that's amazing. And I like the fact that you're also using it to educate and create a mindset shift, so to speak. So tell me, how does that work though? So you see people who are taking, so to speak, right? Or just asking for their needs to be fulfilled. And at some point you reach out and say, hey, can you be of service in some way? Do they just not respond and then they'll leave on their own? Or is there some sort of action that you take on your end if they're just not collaborating and not sharing with others the way that they're receiving?
It's such a great question. So a couple of things. So if they don't respond, we let it soak in. It is a training, right? So we give people time. But what's happening, and this is actually really cool. Just in the past month, I have not even officially rolled this out, but what we have happening is Bless ambassadors are popping up all over the world. And these are people that are like me. They have a heart for community. They want to help people. They want people's lives to be better, and they want to use Bless to do it. So we've now have ambassadors all throughout the United States. We have one in India. We have a couple in Africa. I mean, and again, I haven't even officially launched this. What happens is I share this vision of Bless ambassadors because I've seen it from the beginning. People all over the world that would want to help cultivate this culture. And when I share it, they go, well, I want to be a Bless ambassador. And so then it's just kind of happening. So we're actually going to have our second meeting of this year. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we have meetings lined up for that. So this is going to come in so handy, Evelyn, because we're going to have people that are like me that are doing the same thing. So we'll send these messages. If they're responsive and they make a shift, great. The other part of Bless that's really important is vouch for me. It's a system that we put in place so that people do have accountability. Vouch for me helps build trust. So when you get on the app, whether you're sharing a need of your own or whether you're looking to meet the need of someone else, we encourage everybody to use vouch for me. You send those requests to the people that know you best so they can vouch for who you are. We want to know about you. You know, we want to know how long have they known you? How do they know you? Tell us something about them, right? It's really quick and easy. It's almost like a little review system, but the more people that vouch for you, the better. So these folks that might be on the app that want to take advantage won't really find great opportunity to do that, because if they don't start to get into the flow of how Bless operates with vouch for me, and then like this encouragement from myself or other ambassadors around the world, they're going to end up kind of falling off on their own, is what I think is going to happen, because you're just not going to want to stick around. You know, this is a positive place, a pure platform, where again, our heart motive is to make your life better. And some people don't want that. And it's okay, but they'll find that this isn't the right place for them.
Right. It doesn't seem like somebody who is purely selfish or in it for the wrong reasons would be able to stay there long term. They would, in some way, shape, or form, leave the application on their own, which is the best case scenario for you guys, right? Because that way you don't have somebody who's leeching off of the community and not being of service to those that are in it. So you mentioned you have ambassadors practically, you know, outside of the U.S., right? Africa, you mentioned. Is this like a global? Are you aiming for global acceptance?
You know, Bless, I had a vision for Bless as a global mission from the beginning. So from the start, Bless has been for all humanity, literally throughout the entire world. So we have, gosh, at this point, we have people that have signed on to the app in nearly 1,600 communities throughout the world. We're in 6 out of the 7 continents of the world. So this is very much global in its reach. I mean, currently it's only in the English language, but many people around the world speak English. And I was corresponding earlier today with a gentleman in Italy who's on the app and sharing, and he has a fashion business and he's sharing a need because he needs sewing machines. And so we were having this kind of very conversation of like, okay, in the midst of your need, what do you have? Like just bringing this back around and really wanting to work too with the ambassadors that we have in India and in Africa to help them with their local community to kind of think differently at the start, right? Because these are countries that are in such dire need. But if we can train them to think, yes, share your need. We want to know what you need. We want to help you. But at the same time, what gift do you have? What talent do you have? What gently used item do you have that you can offer to your local community? So you can see this is more than just a fun little app or whatever, or a tool or whatever. This is a world-changing, culture-creating platform that we are building here to really make a global difference.
Yes, and you know what? It's so in alignment, like, you know, initial discussion and then the research that I did afterwards. I was like, wow, this really is such a great endeavor, such a great application of, again, an idea that is simple, but how you're applying it is really novel, right? Because I think most people want to do good, right? They don't want to harm, and they want that reciprocity of give and take. And this application provides that. It provides that environment, that support, that accountability, that mindset shift, right? Even if you're not an individual who is used to reciprocity, the app teaches you how to be that way, right? Which affects how you think of yourself, how you perceive things. It brings more awareness, especially as a global application, right?
Yeah, and you know what's so cool about it is I can be here in Southern California and I can help somebody in a different country. Like, this is so powerful because of the technology that we do have. if you see a need somewhere else. I mean, I've had groceries delivered to the other side of the United States. Why? Because we can.
Wow.
I mean, if we can do it, then why don't we do it? We really are the best help for each other. I mean, there's no red tape when it comes to you and I, right? If you need help,
Right.
Evelyn says, "Hey, Tara, I need a helping hand." Tara says, "Okay, great. Let's do it. What do you need, girl?" And we get it done. And there's no, long drawn out application process. Well, let's see if we have enough funding for you. No. When we all come together, then it could be a gigantic need. Like last year in the midst of COVID, there was a young girl that got on Bless that shared a need. It was an urgent need. That's what it said. Urgent need. She was about to be evicted. Okay. She was living in a state, I think it was South Carolina. She was living in a state that didn't fall under the you can't evict rule that was going on in a lot of states. And so she was about to be evicted with an 8-month-old baby. And she shared this need and said, I've got to have $1,500 to pay my rent. Well, because Bless is new and we're at the stage we are at, most people don't understand Vouch for Me. They don't, quite get the process or how to use it. So I do kind of a lot of vetting on my own. If a need that I see touches my heart, I want to reach out. Let's make sure you're legit. And so that's what I did with her. I got in touch with her. Let me hear your story. What have you tried doing? Have you exhausted the resources that are in your community? Well, long story short, that is what had happened. She had lost her job. She was applying everywhere, getting nowhere, and on the verge of being evicted. So I said, okay. And I just had it on my heart. Let's share this need further because Bless is growing. I would love it if we had 10,000, 15,000, 100,000, 1 million users, but we're not there yet. And so until we get there, you do have the ability to share needs and the posts that you see on Bless to other social media applications. So I shared her posts and I shared it with my nearly 5,000 friends on Facebook. And I said, look, if 150 of you could give up $10, we could save this mom. See, this big, gigantic $1,500 need now became easy and attainable if 150 people could do 10, right? That's
a cup of coffee.
Exactly. That's essentially the concept of this. Like, we're better together, okay? So I share it on Facebook. Couple of hours went by, Evelyn, and crickets. I mean, nothing. Not a peep, not a reaction, not a boo, not a who, nothing. And then all of a sudden, comment after comment started rolling in, and people were saying done, because I had included the link to send her the money. Other people saying, can I get in touch with you? I want to give to this too. Can I give to you to pass it on to her? Long story short, within 24 hours, we exceeded her need. I mean, she was shocked. I was shocked. Wow. I was like, but I knew in my heart, this is what we're capable of. This is why we need this platform, because this is how easy this can be for us to help one another, to come together. So it cost a few people $10. Some gave more, right? Some gave less,
yes.
But everybody did what they could do. And before you knew it, we had more than enough to meet her need. And she was overloaded, just shocked that humanity, that people from actually all over the world, because I even had money come from India to give to her, to help her with her. Can you, from India, to help someone in America pay their rent. And so this is the power in humanity. This is really who we are. This is where we're strong, and we just have to be reminded to look outside of ourselves for a moment and help somebody else. And then whatever you need, oh my gosh, you got to know that need's going to be met, because you're looking outward to help somebody else and reach and pick them up. And before you know it, someone's coming along beside you to help you. So
that is an amazing story and it's so inspirational. I mean, guys that are listening or watching, I hope that after this episode is over, or even as it's going, you're looking up the Bless app and you're looking to be a part of it, because really the whole purpose of this podcast, the whole message that I want to put out there is to inform and empower individuals. And that means making a positive change, whether it's with yourself, your environment, or the world overall, right? And this application is doing just that on a global scale. I mean, India, somebody from India donated. That is amazing.
It's so powerful. And so, yeah, if you guys are listening, head over to our website. If you don't mind me chiming this in right now, Evelyn.
Yes, please.
Go to bless-app.com. From there, you can get the app for free from the Apple app or the Google Play Store. Download it. Don't wait for needs to be shared. Get on there, create a post. How do you want to help somebody? You can help your way anytime you want. I love offering to help, to give a helping hand. If someone needs help cleaning their house, I've done yard work. I'll do anything. Like if I can help you. It wasn't that, I think about maybe 2 months ago now, I went and set up someone's Amazon Fire Stick because she needed help. I mean, it sounds so simple, right? I could do that all day. Like no joke. All day I could set up Amazon Fire Sticks in homes around my community because she didn't have the reach to get behind the TV. She was in a wheelchair. She was blind in one eye. She reached out for help and I was able to go and help her. And she knew it was someone she could trust. Here, she was actually shocked. She's like, "You're the founder?" I'm like, "Yeah, but this is what I love doing." Like, I mean, I'm boots on the ground, man. I'm hands in the mix here. I want to do this stuff. I'm the chief blesser. I love blessing people, and being there with her was just it was so amazing. Get to hear her story a little bit, and just spend that time with her. Just to set up a fire stick. So it can be that simple. It can just be that simple. So help whatever way you want to help, and just see what you can do to change someone's life. I mean, when you set out to give on purpose with purpose, instead of just looking to get rid of stuff, there's so much more power behind it. It'll change your life first, and it will change the life of the person that you're giving to.
Yes, it's really rewarding. I mean, there's a feeling that comes, along with that, right? When you are giving of service to others, this feel good, this gratitude, which attracts, more abundance, more joy and happiness to your life. And not to mention, you don't know the impact. You don't know what this connection could become or the ripples that it's causing out there.
That's so true. And I love those ripples. And that's so true. As we're growing, the whole vision and even this culture we're wanting to create and cultivate has just begun to evolve. So what I've been sharing with you, I mean, this is like new and recent in a sense, because I'm realizing what we're really wanting to do. And it's so powerful. And to be able to be able to not even really have a concept of how impactful, because I didn't have a clue that when I first launched Blessed, it wouldn't just change one life. But the first time I saw it touching the lives of children, I realized, oh my gosh, hold on a second. We're not just changing an adult life. We're literally impacting generations here because of the power of Blessed, because we're setting out to give in this way. And if you can change the mama's life, if you can change the daddy's life, I mean, there was another one so simple. They needed baby wipes. So I met the dad with a box of baby wipes, and I said, "Can I get a picture with you?" And we took a first selfie, and I said, "Aren't you happy you're getting the wipes?" I said, "This looks like a mugshot." And so then he, because people just aren't used to just having this kind interaction with no strings attached kind of deal. So then he laughed and chuckled and loosened up, and we got a great, joyful picture because he got his baby wipes for his kid, And so if you can touch a mom, if you can touch a dad, if you can touch a grandma, if you can touch an aunt, whatever, you're impacting children. And if you can touch those little lives, like there was one time I was delivering, a mom had reached out, said, "I need a mattress for my child." I had someone else reach back. I couldn't do it. I didn't have one, but someone else had it, and I was able to provide the transportation. I borrowed my friend's truck to go get, I mean, if you can help facilitate the meeting of the need, there's so much power in that too. And so I picked up this mattress, met this little girl. She must have been 5. You should have seen the smile on this kid's face. I mean, if you can touch a child like that with something so simple like a mattress, I mean, I call this really the ultimate bad day cure. If you're having a bad day, you want to flip the switch on it, just set out to be a blessing to somebody. I'm telling you, as soon as you make the decision, everything about that day will change for you. It's really powerful.
And I know you talked about a couple of examples, but there's so much more and so many ways that you can help fulfill a need or have a need fulfilled. So really, you know, as usual, guys, we're going to put all the info in the podcast, YouTube details that we can go explore it for yourself and start reciprocating with the individuals who are on the app. I have to ask, Tara, there must have been a couple of roadblocks or challenges with implementing and creating Bless. Can you share some of that with us?
Sure. You know, I think probably the hardest part of the journey to creating Bless was the transition from corporate to working as an entrepreneur on my own. I went through right in the beginning a period of tremendous guilt. Which might sound weird, but maybe other people can relate. You know, having worked like this 9 to 5 and then all of a sudden finding this time freedom, I felt really horrible for family members that were still working the 9 to 5. And I really had to overcome that. It was really challenging for me for a good couple of months. And then also the other part of that was in leaving that old corporate behind, you're kind of trained to be so stressed and so unhappy, or at least I was. I mean, I was pretty miserable at the end of it all, especially if you're working, you know, one of those jobs where you're making a ton of money, but they're demanding all of your time, right? And that's what had happened to me. And I had to overcome what had become a habit, really, of misery. You know, even though now I have time freedom, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm taking a humongous risk. It was all sounded crazy, still does some days, right? But I had to overcome the fact that I didn't have to carry that with me into this, and really realize that this is my passion. This is my assignment. This is why I am on the planet Earth. That's so powerful. And when you come to realize that and can leave all that baggage behind, then everything opened up for me. But it did take some time. And then to realize too, with my family members that are even still working like a 9 to 5, I finally understand that it's okay and that they're okay with that. And I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and they're doing what they're supposed to do. So that was a big hitch for me. But as far as the development of the app and that kind of thing, honestly, I think maybe because it's my passion and the favor of God on my life, I'm not really sure, but if it's both combined, but this was really the easiest work I've done and continues really to be. You know, when you get into that niche, when you're in that groove, as long as you stay focused, I would say now the biggest challenge is not allowing the opinions of everybody on the planet to determine how you move forward. You always have to go back to the vision because you're the carrier of that. It's like the mama giving birth to the baby. No, you're the one. No matter how many tips you get, right, from everybody, I'm the one doing the work here. So at the end of the day, you can give me tip after tip, but this is getting delivered the way I want to deliver it, kind of deal, right? And remembering that and not adding so much onto yourself that you forget what you're really supposed to be doing. So that's been another one that I think I've done pretty well at, because Bless is absolutely the hub here. And everything that springs out of that has to do with the betterment of humanity. But at the end of the day, you're always going to hear me talk about Bless.
Well, that is so great that you shared it with us, because, you know, when you're an entrepreneur, it's very different than working for someone else or working, you know, in corporate. And you talked about the guilt that you felt, you know, with having this transition and looking at everything else around you. But more importantly, you talked about the fact that this is your vision, right? You know what you have in mind, what you want the outcome to be. And yes, while folks can provide opinions or suggestions or advice, ultimately the onus is on you to create what you want to create.
That's right. You're the one. And at the end of the day, when everyone else around you leaves, you're the only one left. So, you've got to protect even the vision that you have and that dream, and keep it before you and in front of you, so that when the distractions of the day come, or when things are going away you don't think they should be going, or you'd like to see more happening, remind yourself, oh my gosh, here's where we're headed. See, for me, like, I know Bless is much more than just this app. I mean, Bless will be so global. Every home, every house will know this name. They will know this app, and they will experience the power behind this, but they'll also see how Bless impacts communities throughout the world. I mean, I have vision for Bless supply houses where people can come and they can get things that they have need of, or we can deliver them to them. I mean, I see the Bless trucks driving all over the place making deliveries.
Wow.
And when you see Bless showing up at your house, you're so happy because help is here, hope is here, all these things. So see, the vision goes way beyond this. And because it's so big on the inside of me, Evelyn, it's really too late. It's only a matter of time before it manifests because I can see it already. It's just a matter of time. Nobody can take it from me as long as I keep it alive and keep it in front of me and keep taking the baby steps that I take on the daily to get to that place. Oftentimes we have this gigantic dream and vision, and we get so intimidated by it that it paralyzes us, right? And we sit there and end up doing nothing. But you have to just remember, it's a process, and you have to have patience in the process and trust that every little step, even if sometimes they think you took 2 steps forward and 4 steps back, every little step is still progress to get you to where you're headed. And just keep that thing in front of you and you run with it, and you'll get there. You will get there. I mean, to think of where I'm at today, it's been 2 years since we launched the app. And to think of the lives that have been impacted, and I feel like we haven't even gotten started yet, but to think we've already made an impact at this level, oh my gosh, y'all better buckle up.
I'm seeing Bless as like the Amazon of human kindness and connection.
Yes, I love that. You just gave me goosebumps all down my backside there. That's awesome. The Amazon of human kindness. Wow, that's wonderful. Can you see those trucks though?
Yeah, so this is the thing, and I don't know, folks that are listening or watching can feel it, but there's an energy. Even us being remote to each other, there's an energy, and I can feel your passion. I can feel just how much you love what you've created and what you're putting out there.
Yeah, I love people, and that's something that actually has developed and transformed and increased in my life. And I've shared this many different times where it wasn't really that long ago, maybe 5 years ago, that I didn't like people. I mean, I didn't like any people. Now that's like a shocker, right? Like, how could the chief blesser of you created this app to help people? I didn't like people, honestly. But what I learned, what I came to find out, and I had, so much anger and hurt, on the inside. But what I found out was the problem wasn't the people. I didn't like me. I figured out I didn't like me. And because I didn't like me, my view of humanity was tainted because I was looking at everybody through the filter of not liking myself. So I had to heal. I had to get healed of that. I had to take some time. I actually had a good couple of years where it was literally me. I had no friends. I was with some family, but I had separated myself from where I'd grown up and just had to make a change. And I was with an aunt and uncle and some, of my more distant family. But I had left everything I had known, and I had a couple of years where it was just me. And I had to just really figure out that God created me. He loves me. And if he loves me, then there must be something really good here. So I'm going to start to love me. And I started to make this shift in my thinking about myself. And then I had some really, after that span of time, I had who's my best friend now. She came along, and thank God. Well, thank God, first of all, for a good mama who is just like the best. I mean, your biggest fan, right, and all that, but just a solid foundation in my life. And my dad, too, but more so, moms are just extra special.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was one. But then my best friend came along, and she was just so gentle. And she, let me talk out certain things and kind of let the walls come down. And then she built me back up and was just so encouraging and really, really, really helped me become who I am today. And so now on the
Mm-hmm.
daily, it's just really interesting how my love and compassion for people, humanity, the hurting, and even those that are well off, but maybe have a rough day, whatever, just people, how much it's
Mm-hmm.
increased and how now I can see, oh, humanity is waiting for this to become what I see on the inside. So I have to keep moving forward for humanity.
Yes. Yes. And those of you that are entrepreneurs out there, I always say knowing your why is important in driving you and motivating you, because motivation only lasts so long. So for you, Tara, you have this powerful why that's going to continue to drive you to develop and further, put out there this application, to advertise it, to make more connections, to be of service. You as a CEO and founder are active, like you said, boots on the ground in your own application, which is, amazing to me, right? Because as a CEO or entrepreneur, you're so busy, you can be pulled in so many directions, but you know what you're about, you know what the outcome is or what you're hoping to achieve. And so every day you're taking those steps, like you said, even if they're small steps or 4 steps forward, 2 steps back, you're moving forward to that outcome.
That's it. And you just got to keep going for it. Don't let anybody take it from you. It's your baby to birth. And so you just got to keep going. And then it's your child to grow. And you got to keep going. Don't quit. That's all I can say to all you out there that are entrepreneurs, that you have this on the inside of you. You hang on to it for dear life. Don't quit. Keep it before you. Remember your why, like Evelyn said,
Yes.
and fight for it, because people, we need you. We need what you have and what you're offering, because really at the end of the day, no matter what you're doing, it's about people. It's about people. And make sure that your motives are pure in that. I found that the best passion to have is one that focuses on giving back to humanity. I mean, if you're looking to just get from human, it isn't going to work out so well. But if you have some
Mm-hmm.
kind of a flow going here, and so for me, giving bless. How could I even lose giving bless? I mean, that's like the ultimate
Yes.
seed to sow, right? And if you put something like that in the ground, I mean, can you even imagine the harvest,
Mm-hmm.
the plant that's going to grow up and the fruit that's going to come off of this thing? So for me, it's a privilege and an honor
Mm-hmm.
to be able to offer this gift for people to use. And you can even create groups on Bless. It's not limited just one to one. You can get on there, you can create
Mm-hmm.
a public group, a private group. You can connect with your family all around the world. You'd be surprised at how your family across the country has needs you weren't even aware of. But maybe if you get them collected on Bless, they'll start sharing it, and you can help each other that way too. So it could be for family, friends, neighbors, however you want to do this. Really, the way you want to use bless is the sky's the limit. It can really make a
Mm-hmm.
difference, though, in your own life and in the lives of the people in your community and the world, if you want it to.
Yes, guys. So please, if you haven't already, make sure you go to the website. Make sure you follow and connect with Tara so you can continue to partake, reciprocate, and follow the development and journey of this amazing solution, this amazing application. Tara, before I let you go, are there any last comments you want to share with the audience?
I just want to kind of echo what Evelyn just said. Go get this app. Just get on here. Help me change the world. This is the mission. I don't think there's one person that would disagree that this world needs some changing. And if we can do it for the better, I mean, what a powerful way to do it. In the midst of it, you're going to see your life get better. I mean, I'm telling you, I dare you. If you're out there and you have never gone out to be a blessing to somebody, I just dare you to give it a try, get on there, offer to help somebody and see what happens, or just interact with a post that you see and offer an encouraging word and see what happens, how it changes your life. Or send out those vouch for me requests. Those are a kick. You know, when you send those out, you'd be shocked at what people really think about you and how kind they are. I've had people vouch for me and I'm like, gosh, I had no clue they thought that about me. And it blesses you, you know. So this is an application that will just make your day on so many levels. So just come be a part of this, share it, use it, and repeat the process. And I look forward to connecting with every single one of you on the app. I do reach out. I personally reach out to every new user on Bless so that you guys know that I'm there. And I invite you to my group there so I can send you tips on how to use the app. So it's a win-win all the way around, and I can't wait for y'all to be a part.
Yes, I am so excited. I'm going to go and sign up for Bless myself because it's just in alignment with what, you know, I want to put out there in terms of giving and receiving. Tara, I want to thank you for sharing your wisdom, for talking about your journey, your transition, about this beautiful app that you've developed that is going to bring connections globally to provide more reciprocity and human kindness.
Thank you, Evelyn.
All right, guys, as I always say, preparation, accountability, execution, and resolve are keys to your success. Until next time.